Hello everybody, I'm Lori. Welcome back to Milkweeds and Roses. Keeping the bird feeders stocked up and the hummingbird feeder stocked up. I like to encourage the wildlife to stay, and many of them are on their second nest now, their second hatchling, second batch of eggs to raise their young. The robins are back in the corner defending their territory right above the sweet autumn clematis. And so hopefully that next batch of babies will be there to see it, that clematis in full bloom, and all the pollinators and the bugs and the things that follow that they absolutely love. I hope everything is exciting and green and growing in your little corner of the world. I hope your garden is doing well. I am pleased with a lot of the progress that is going on here in my garden, in my Zone 5B garden. We've had some brutal storms, though, that have really done a number on a couple of plants, in particular, Annabelle. So that leaves me kind of at a crossroads trying to figure out what to do next. Let me show you. Walk this way. So they're beautiful blooms. There is no denying Annabelle hydrangea, the traditional form here when in bloom. But when you stand back and you see how she comports herself, as they say, how she handles herself, you know, whether it's a heavy rainpour or too much sun, then the whole plant starts to collapse under the weight of those big blooms. I was hoping the willow supports that I got this year would help support some of the blooms. Now, the ones that grew through it from the bottom, you know, didn't quite work. They flopped anyway, and I used some clips to try to hold it in place, but it just sort of makes it look strangled overall. In some places it did hold, and I like that, but in other places, wow. I mean, that bloom on the ground isn't going to do anybody any good. Nobody sees it. Oh, it's so frustrating. Now, I know that there are new varieties of hydrangea that have stiffer stems, and they're known for holding themselves up. But Annabelle in particular, for me anyway, what I've noticed is there are places where this type of comportment or this sort of flop is more complementary. But, you know, it's certainly not a moisture thing. We had 4 inches of rain when I took this video just the day before. And in the distance where there is more moisture, in my south garden, for example, it looks pretty good, but where the sun hits it, it still flops. I mean, it looks like a bear sprawled on that part of the hydrangea. It's just on the ground. But in my north garden, which gets far more shade, she does hold herself up really well. And it's a nice compliment. I like the way this area is going. The swamp azalea looking good. You know, the astilbe, my oldest garden helper, my chihuahua. The hostas, slug-free. The blooms are ready. And oh, hello, buddy. Always tend to show up wherever I am, which brings a good point. Now, I built this north garden. I call it my lower north walled garden, and I designed it based for the area. I've been watching it for a while and seeing how grass that we tried to grow here for ages was failing. It was just a muddy mess. Pardon my shadow. And I just realized I just have to change the plants that are there and put the right plants, as they say, in the right place. So when these hostas bloom, the hummingbirds and the bees come around. They love them. After the blooms are done, I cut them down. But, you know, I like this little area now, and it's because I designed it based for the amount of sun that it gets and the amount of moisture that is available on this north side of the house. It's just a beginning project. It's certainly not done. But that's why these plants are so healthy and so robust. You know, in fact, it's kind of to the point where I have to almost thin some things because they've really gone gangbusters here. Well, this is my daylily, which I love the way it works. There's a Seven Suns flower, which I'm going to prune into a tree form a little bit later. But Joe Pyeweed, This is supposed to be the smaller version, and it must be well over 4 feet tall, almost 5. The heleniums back there, daylilies, some swamp milkweed, some other things. This gets a lot of sun here on the north side of the house, especially in the summer. But choosing plants that hold themselves up in those conditions and can appreciate the drier conditions of growing on a slight slope here on top of the wall. Culver's root, Joe Pye weed, but down below a little bit more moist here. So we get, some of these other plants. I get the swamp milkweed back in there that's growing, Culver's root. Like I said, it's just got to all work together here. And I've got some pie weed and some other things that are coming up here at the bottom. And this is the peak of sun at midday now. The hibiscus finally taking off, but you can see that the heat is affecting them. And the heads droop a little bit. It doesn't mean I need to keep watering them because it does get too wet. They do tend to recover once the blaring sun gets off them here. And that's my new little pollinator thing, which I'm hoping some bees take up this fall. We'll see. But again, just getting the right plant in the right place keeps them healthy, tends to help them reduce pests, and they thrive. So that was a lesson learned. And when I think of the hydrangeas that were here when we got here, as much as I love them, I'm going to have that flop situation every year this time of year. They look good for about a day or two, and then the first big rainstorm that comes along, and the weather gets kind of exciting here in my Zone 5B garden this time of year, when it's so hot and it gets tons of rain, and it's just the way things are. So I've got to learn to work with it. And yes, I still need to trim my little yew shrubs down. Well, I'll figure it out here. In the meantime, I'm just enjoying the beauty of these blooms and some things that are doing well. It seems like the garden changes daily. I'm sure yours does too. It all depends on the weather. And I'm looking forward to taking care of, I've got some nice fresh leaves coming up here for my roses, so they'll be ready to put on their second flush of blooms. Keeping the dahlia deadheaded, Bishop of Landolph, doing well. I hope you keep me posted how things are going in your little neck of the woods, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.